Hi, thank you for joining me for Yarn Bite with Nora. I'm so excited to be talking to you again. It's been a while, it's been about 9 months, and I'll tell you what's been going on in my life and the reason I decided or really why I couldn't do my little show anymore. And I've got a dog here that I would like for her. Come here, girl. But she's kind of shy. Let me see if I can scoot the camera down there. Come here, girl. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, she's just out of range. Sorry about that, but you can hear her crunching on her pork skin. Here you go. One more. Her name's Little Mama. I saw her on a corner, and so I brought her home. And the reason she's called Little Mama is because it looks like the vet said she's had a couple of litters, so her teeth's kind of hanging or stretched out. But she's a good girl, and I shoot the camera so you all can get a good look at Little Mama because she's a good dog. Well, thank you so much for joining me. One of the things I'd like to talk to you today is excuse my back. I'm going to do a review on some interchangeable needle sets. And I just dropped one. Live TV, folks, live TV. Excuse me. Now, everybody knows about the advantages of interchangeables, that you don't have to have 40 years worth of needles. And my husband asked me, why do you have so many? Well, we all know why. Circulars, right? Double-pointed needles of all different sizes, double-pointed. Circulars, this is one of my first sets, size 8. It's really cool because $3.80 back in the day. Here's my needle gauge so I can see what size. But I take pretty good care of my needles. Oh, even found another set of double-pointed. And these are cubics. I've shown you all my cubics. I tried to see if that would help my fingers. And it's not really the needle that I use. It's that I overdo it. I'll sit down and I will knit or I will crochet for up to 8-10 hours on the weekend. That is how much I love to crochet and knit. So, and another thing I told my husband, it seems like every project that I do calls for a different set of needles. Isn't that the truth? Now, these have been really nice. These are Knitter's Pride. It cost about $85. Nice little case. Has kind of a silver fabric, clear case, Knitter's Pride. And these are the Nova Cubics. They're square needles, Nova Cubics. They're supposed to be more comfortable because there's more area for your hand to grasp. And I actually like the pointy. And these are usually referred to as as lace tips. So we can go into those tiny little loops. And I just really enjoy a long needle and a pointy end. And so these have been very nice. Now, the cord, of course, that's a lot of the difference that you get between the higher end, but the metal joints are very, very smooth, and this does use a key to lock it into place. And one of the cords kind of had a little bump to it, kind of a little jag, and I tried to file it, but you can even see how it's not smooth. It's kind of bent, and so that is like a little defect. And they're fairly stiff. When you get to your higher end needles, you're going to get the softer drapier cords. But this is a very nice set for the money, very nice. Now, I also enjoy the Addy Click. And I thought Addy Click was Cadillac, the most expensive. Found out they're not the most expensive. This is a leather case, beautiful leather case. I also had the pink, and those are the metals. And I gave those to my granddaughter. And boy, she could tell the difference between using cheap plastic and an Addy. And Addy they're also fairly stiff, but they're nice. They're nice cables, very smooth, very smooth. And you don't need a key with Addies, so that's nice. And I also got the long needles, and oops, sorry. And they're pointy, and these are bamboo. So I would use bamboo when I use slicker yarns like silk or some bamboo is kind of slick as far as yarn. And it has a connector. And these were $187. And I thought, oh man, how can a set be any more expensive? Well, they are. They can be. But this is a beautiful set. I am going to return these. These are the hedgehog. And I saw these. Look at that gorgeous pouch. It's iridescent. I saw these on another knitting podcast, and I went, "Whoa, those are gorgeous!" And they said, "Look at the number. You get something like 12 sets of pointy needles. Aren't they gorgeous? And they're kind of a rose gold. I mean, they're just beautiful. It's like jewelry, and they're so light and they're so slick. Not slick like the clicks, like the Addy clicks." And the yarn doesn't seem to slip off or fall off. And it's almost when you pat it, it has kind of I don't even know how to explain the experience. It's almost like it's padded or it's rubberized. I think it has a little bit of a satin finish. Can you see that? And so it's not too slick, but it has a real nice feel to it. I love the needles. Now, here's the problem. I could not take this off. When I was through with my project, I couldn't take it off of I couldn't take the needle off of the cable. And this is a funny little, doesn't have a key. It has a tool. And the tool has two little prongs at the end. And you slip them in the hole. Okay, you line up the two little holes on each side, and this is supposed to press the end of the needle in the inside and release it. Couldn't do it. Called the store that I bought these from. They said, well, use a needle, use a pen. Couldn't do it. So these were $236. $236. So I am going to return them, and I'm going to buy another set of Addies. Because I love the needle, but the other, and this has the firm cord, and it also has the very soft drapey cord, which is really nice, especially for people who like to do the magic loop. Look at that, isn't that nice? But can't take it off, can't use it, can I? And the other thing I don't like is the metal here, all of the metal, both on the cable and both on the needle is rough. It's very textured. Let me see if you can see this. It's very, very, oops, got a little, let's see. See if I can focus, get it focused. No, can't focus. Very, very textured. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Can't get it focused. But and it snags. And also the little hole, the little pinhole where you release the needle from the cable, it's sharp. It's almost like a cheese grater. I mean, you can actually kind of scrape your skin off on that. So after $236, that's a lot of money. You know what? Excuse me. I can hear my little chihuahua crying to be let in. Let me let it plug in. Come on. Oh. Excuse me for leaving you alone. I don't know where he went. So let me show you some of the projects I'm working on. Oh, I love this one. This is the Crochet Christmas Lights blanket, and it's by repeatcrafterme.com. She comes up with the neatest. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's light bulbs. My husband thought it was a grenade. I've had somebody ask me if they were Christmas balls. Then somebody else thought it was an owl because it has little loop ears. And so far, I'm going to make 60 blocks. They recommend 20 for a baby blanket. And this isn't that pretty blue? Oh, I love crochet. To me, crochet is like playing with Play-Doh. Look at those crazy colors. Red and blues, and I have purples. I have purple, then I have a light blue. She just found the rest of the pork skins. Here you go. Here, crunch away. Here's a lighter purple. Now, if you see the little tips of the top, the little metal top right there, a gentleman thought those were owl ears. So let's see what other color. Oh, I have orange. And I also have yellow. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I just love crocheting, and it's just, like I said, playing with Play-Doh. Now, this is my biggest project, well, to date, that is not a blanket, and it's for me. This is my shawl, Gypsy Shawl. It's Malabrigo. You know, I can hear her. I think I hear him in the other room. My husband could let him out, but I don't think he's going to. Is that pretty? This is Malabrigo and Rios, and it has 2 different colorways, and I absolutely love this. I did change, now, one of the stitches. If you notice here, it's much redder than it's coming across. It's more of a diagonal, and the pattern, oh, there we go. And the pattern had it vertical. And you can see how this, the one in orange, is vertical. See how that's vertical? This should have been vertical. I thought the directions were wrong because they weren't mirroring the right and the left. But the reason for that were the extra stitches that you need to make up as you add width. And if you go this way, well, now it's vertical, right? But I don't want to walk that way. But I like it. I like the movement. You can see it's vertical here also, the smaller lace inset right there. But I love this. It's so pretty. And I have made shawls for years for different people, and I have never made one for myself. I absolutely love it. I have to admit, the name Gypsy really appealed to me. I hear that doggy. One moment, please. Where are you, Buster? Buster! Are you here? Where is Buster? Buster! Where is Buster? Well, he wasn't in the backyard. He wasn't in in the office with my husband. He wasn't in the front yard. He must have gotten shut in one of the bedrooms. I'll have to go look for him, but I can hear him whining. But anyway, this is, whew, for me. I'm so excited. I have been wanting to make something special for myself. I did buy this yarn in Utah. My daughter got married a couple of years ago, and it was so pretty, and I said, you know, I'm going to wait for the right project. And you know, when you buy something pretty and you keep it in the back of your mind, and every time you see a pattern, you think about it and you think about it. And this just turned out perfect because it took 3 skeins to do this, and it has a lot of red. It reads and purples. It reads kind of brown when I get close, and then this one has more orange and greens. So I'm just very, very happy the way it turned out. Then in my Believe in Your Own Magic box, I have mittens that I have made. Excuse me, allergies. We had a cold front for South Texas. It's down in the 60s, and people are wrapped up in their woolies. For us, that's cold. Oh, and it brought all the crud and all the pollen from up north. But these are for my friend Rhea from Rhode Island. She makes mittens every year. And I decided to go dinosaurs. This is a Triceratops. It's got kind of you can see a little bit of 3D there. Here's a palm tree. And then my friend Rhea, she always comes up with great ideas, kind of crazy, and I'm always up to the challenge. She said, okay, now you need a mammoth, a woolly mammoth. So here we go. Here's a woolly mammoth. What do you think? I think he came out cute. It's like making little toys. It's so much fun. Oh, and here's the pair. The mate is a Stegosaurus. I think they have, or Brontosaurus? Brontosaurus. I think they have new names now. One of them was renamed. And here's another. Here's green. Here's blue. And these are very pretty colors for little girls. You know, little boys. They're bright colors. Whatever. Whoever. Oh, hot pink. Hot pink dinosaurs. Got some more bright purple, hot pink again. It's not coming across hot pink, but it's hot. It's crazy hot. Oh, and then this one, I gave it a tongue. I'm gonna grab you. Oh, these are felted. Oh, here we go. And I have a tutorial on how to felt, so that's fun. Felting. Here we go. Here's another kind of dinosaur. And mittens are so much fun. I really enjoy making mittens. Like I'm telling you, these are crocheted, the appliques are crocheted, and I sewed them on afterwards with matching yarn. But it's like making toys you can wear. And, you know, and they're for 6th graders. I hope they have fun. And I may have shown you this. This is a hat. I'm going to send it up north too because we really don't use it very much. Hats, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. And what's really cool about this is you untie it, and I'm not going to say and then easily, because then you can open it and you end up with a cowl. And I have kind of a thick neck, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it down. I have a big head and a thick neck, so let's see. And there you go. So you can have a cowl or you can have a hat, just depending on what you need. And oh, just got caught on my glasses. I knew that was going to happen. That happened to you all too. So that's in my magic box. So those are the projects. I did work on a weaving. I did a large blanket for my grandson. I'll have to show you that photos in another video because I was really anxious to send it on to him. And that's all I have to show you that's knitting and crochet, that's yarn related. If you'd like to stay and find out what's been happening in my life, I would love to have you. Okay, so after the last election, and I got up around 2 to see who had won, and then I stayed in the fetal position for a couple of days because I just knew that my life was going to be impacted. And at that, with our new president, with our new administration, what I was concerned about is that I have two gay sons. And I know that the administration was going to be very conservative, and I was very, very concerned how their lives were going to be impacted. And my husband, who's a Republican, but I don't really know who he voted for. I don't know. And it's better if I never find out. But he said, hey, you know what? Don't you believe in democracy? Don't you believe that in our checks and balances? Well, things haven't been quite turning out the way we were hoping. And where I live in the southern border in Texas, right by Mexico. Every week, something happens that impacts my life, my area directly. We have pristine, beautiful parks. Some of them are federal parks, some of them are state parks. And the border wall has become a big political football. And for the butterfly, our butterfly reserve, it brings in people from all over the world. People come to see different species of butterflies, especially the people who keep track of all the different butterflies. They are building the wall. They're tearing up some of that butterfly preserve, and they waived all the environmental laws because, for one reason, it's federal land. Even though it's a park, it's federal land, and also they declared eminent domain. We have tried to get our voice across. One of our U.S. senators, Senator Crowan, has said there are different ways to protect that area. It's not that big along the border. We can use technology. We can use more boots on the ground. There are ways to do it without setting up an actual barrier, without setting up the wall. And I don't know if you've seen the wall, but it isn't solid. It has metal. It's like metal bars, but they're pretty wide and pretty thick. But of course, there is then going to be a 10 to 15-foot concrete wall before you have the metal bars. So that is going to impact the area. So I did go through the area to see it before it all changes, and it's lost forever. Also, when the parents and the children were separated, that broke my heart. And all of those, the immigration, boy, I hear that dog still whining. He's somewhere in this house. I hear him scratching. I think he must have followed me into a bedroom, and I should shut him in. They processed immigration and some of the major border entryways, bridges, and it's just heartbreaking to see those pictures, knowing this is happening just down the street from me, just in my community. And I know that people are saying, and I know how people feel, and the thing is, it brings back really hard feelings. When I was a kid, I grew up in the 60s, and as early as the 50s, the Rangers had a program, and they nicknamed it Operation Wetback. Operation Wetback. And that's a derogatory term for people who cross the border illegally, were wet. And they would go house to house, and they were deporting people straight off. And some of the people were born in ranches, so they didn't have documentation, birth certificates. They were actually citizens, but they didn't have the paperwork to prove that they were American citizens. So when you're growing up just a few years after that, you start to feel that you're less than everybody else. And this area is 90% or more Mexican Americans. Imagine being the majority and yet feeling like you're less than, you're not as good as. So that has brought up a lot of hard feelings for me. And you add that to worrying about my sons, my gay sons, then thinking about the discrimination that's being fueled and the violence and the hatred. Do you know, my whole life was just upturned, and it was more than I could take. And I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have let it affect me personally, change my way of life, but it really did depress me. It really did depress me. I've never had a presidency directly affect my way of living, my life, my area. So that, and then my parents, we had some sad news. My father died, and at the same time, my mother was very sick. She was in the hospital. So I stayed with my mom while my sisters buried my dad. And she's still been sick. This has been going on since June, since he was buried. And we just got her out of 3 bouts of an infection, and she just went home. And you know, it's been rough, but I've got to get back to normal. Oh, there's Goldie. Goldie, come here, girl. Come here, girl. You know, I've got 3 dogs, and we can't see them. I'm gonna get my camera next time so you can see my great dogs. And thank you for watching this, and I appreciate it, and take care. And you know, let's support each other. Let's support each other and lift each other, and nobody is less than anybody, right? Okay, God bless you, and remember that every project has a story. You take care. Bye-bye.